In August, 7 powerful aerospace companies in China were blacklisted by the United States, but the strange thing is, the response of the Chinese people is very calm. Many people did not show anger, and no one scolded the United States. Some of them said, Chinese aerospace has nothing to do with the United States, and where did the decoupling come from? Some people also said, is this the official certification of China's outstanding enterprises by the United States? It just shows that they are desperate. Many people believe that the US sanctions have little impact on China, and may even force China to innovate again. So you will find that when other areas are sanctioned, the Chinese get angry. But in the matter of China aerospace being blocked, almost most Chinese people showed an optimistic attitude. Do you think it is very strange? Why are the Chinese people so confident in China's aerospace industry? Is it true that these sanctions have no impact on China? Hi. Welcome to Hot Topics Time. Before we start today's video, please subscribe to our channel, which is the encouragement that we can create more videos. Okay, let's continue the topic we are talking about. In fact, China's aerospace industry is one of the few that has been gradually pushed into independence by the United States. So, how did China aerospace get to this point? In fact, when China's aerospace industry was just starting, the strategy it set was mainly relying on self-reliance and actively absorbing foreign experience. China wanted to learn from aerospace powers, but was rejected by them again and again. In the 1990s, China actively integrated into the US-based Western commercial aerospace industry. Even under the framework of the United States, China took the initiative to change its system and policies, and made certain achievements, but was blocked by a report from the United States. It not only made China's fledgling commercial aerospace nearly die, but also made China determined to develop its own aerospace industry. This report is the Cox Report. In May 1999, Cox, then the chairman of the U.S. House of Representatives Policy Committee, issued a report to Congress claiming that China Aerospace stole core technology from the United States. The report is more than 800 pages long. Without any evidence, it is said that China has stolen advanced technology from the United States through Chinese scientist Wenhou Li. But this is all ridiculous. First of all, this report not only lacks any evidence, but such a report was released in the U.S. Congress. Bill Richardson, the U.S. Secretary of Energy at the time, said, "I disagree with the assumptions made by the report on the confidentiality of the laboratory." The White House issued a statement on the same day expressing doubts about the report. And Wenhou Li, he has been secretly investigated by the FBI since 1996, just because he is friends with Chinese scientists, so they suspected the possibility of technology transfer. So the FBI conducted a long-term investigation of Li, which lasted for 2 years, and failed to find evidence of him. Then Cox went out in person and set up a professional investigation committee to track and eavesdrop on Wenhou Li for a year. In 1999, the U.S. federal government charged Wenhou Li with 59 charges and sent him to prison for more professional interrogation and polygraph testing. However, the follow-up development still exceeded Cox's expectations. The U.S. federal government arrested Wenhou Li for a few months, and still no relevant evidence was found. At this time, many Chinese began to help Wenhou Li, so the situation began to turn for the better. In August 1999, the former director of the Counterintelligence Activities Department of Wenhou Li's laboratory admitted that there was no evidence that Wenhou Li leaked secrets. In September, the lab disciplined 3 of its leaders for taking action without evidence. In October 1999, the Los Angeles Times spoke up for Wenhou Li for the first time. They published an article entitled "Government Owes Wenhou Li an Apology," explaining how Wenhou Li was wronged. In November 1999, the U.S. government decided not to prosecute Wenhou Li for espionage. The following year, the federal government withdrew 58 charges, and Wenhou Li got rid of suspicion and received $1.6 million in compensation from the U.S. federal government and several newspapers. In fact, This incident is a complete farce, but its impact is very large. In fact, this incident caused incalculable losses to China's aerospace industry. It almost killed China's fledgling commercial aerospace industry, and completely changed the future of China's aerospace industry. The reason why China Aerospace even has to make its own screws comes from the influence of this story. When China became a rising star in international spaceflight, it was forcibly interrupted by the Cox Report. Although this report was questioned by many people, the United States still announced a sanctions order against China Aerospace. The content is very similar to what Huawei encountered. The sanctions against Huawei are: all chip factories that use American technology require the approval of the United States before they can OEM for Huawei, so Huawei has lost the source of chips. And the content of the sanctions on China Aerospace is also the same: all satellites that use American parts and rockets carrying Chinese need the approval of the United States. At that time, except for a few countries in the European Union and Russia, the satellites of other countries were inseparable from American components. This sanction was equivalent to cutting off the road of China's commercial aerospace. After the release of the Cox Report, China Aerospace's international business road has been difficult to walk, and in the next few years, there have been no international orders. And so, China began the most glorious feat in world history. What if the US does not allow China to carry their satellites? China will find others to cooperate. What if there is no satellite platform? China formed itself. What if the United States does not provide raw materials and components? China develops it all by itself. In 2007, the Long March 3B put the NIG-COMSAT-1 satellite into orbit. This satellite was specially customized for Nigeria by the China Academy of Space Technology. Since then, China's entire satellite customers have spread across Asia, Latin America, Africa, and other continents. Since then, China has also become the most active country in the world. In contrast, the United States has lagged behind. Not only is the moon landing technology missing, but even their Artemis 1 rocket has failed several times in a row, and the launch date has been delayed again and again. Of course, they won't watch China grow rapidly. In 2011, they imitated the Cox Report and came up with the Wolf Amendment, which not only prohibited cooperation between the US and China, but even blocked Sino-US exchanges. Once the telescope that Chinese scientists participated in research was sent into space by the United States, but China could not even enter the press conference. Since then, at several international space conferences held in the United States, China has also been blocked for various reasons. However, at this time, China has already built a complete industrial chain, and is not afraid of US sanctions at all. So American scientists began to worry. In 2019, when the Chinese space station opened to the outside world, the United States took the initiative to apply for the project, but unfortunately it was not selected. In 2021, they began to complain about China's reluctance to cooperate with them. However, they forget that when China tried to absorb foreign experience, they were rejected many times. Okay, that's all for today. Please put your comments below and share your insightful ideas with other people. Thank you so much for your continuous support. Your precious time with us is highly appreciated. Hot Topics time to explore the wisdom behind the news. We will see you in the next video.